A very good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia. We begin with the report that President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived Kano for a two-day official working visit to the state. Awal Salisu was at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport and now reports.
The presidential jet arrived Kano at exactly 10:37 a.m. Nigerian time. Among those that received the president were the governors of Kano and Jigawa states, emir of Kano, ministers, senators, security chiefs, and top government officials. The president later inspected a guard of honor mounted by the Nigerian army. This is the first time President Buhari is visiting Kano in his capacity as a democratically elected president of the country. While in Kano, he is expected to inaugurate and commission projects executed by the state government. Immediately on arrival, President Muhammadu Buhari proceeded to the Emir's palace to pay homage to the Emir of Kano. While at the palace, the president lamented that the insecurity in the northeast has affected opportunities, pledging to fight the menace to its logical conclusion. He said Nigeria generated a lot of money from 1999 to 2014, but regretted that it was spent on unnecessary programs through corruption.
I appeal to people here that if there is going to be stability in governance in the northern part of the country, and generally in the country, it will start from here.
Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sunusi II, commended the president on his administration's fight against corruption.
The nation has witnessed the successes recorded in the fight against corruption, agriculture, empowerment, and wealth creation.
President Muhammadu Buhari proceeded to commission a hospital named after him in Kano. Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And speaking of the president commissioning a hospital, the president has commissioned a 520-bed facility hospital in Kano State at the cost of 4.3 billion naira with the aim of treating cancer and other illnesses.
To commission this specialist hospital, our party, the All Progressive Congress, was created to uplift the lives of the average Nigerian. Our change agenda is about a better Nigeria for all Nigerians.
The completion of this facility is a fulfillment of our electioneering promises to finish inherited projects initiated by previous administrations in Kano State.
The project was awarded 10 years ago to make healthcare facilities accessible and affordable for Nigerians. Well, an amalgamation of youth organizations under the auspices of Katsina Youths for Sustainable Change and National Union of Road Transport Workers, Katsina State Branch, have organized a rally in support of President Muhammadu Buhari for his efforts towards political and socio-economic growth. Aminu Ishak tells us more.
The Solidarity Rally is to appreciate and show more support to President Muhammadu Buhari in his determination to put the country on a sound and sustainable path of development. While Chaltu Solidarity song to pass their message, the organizations identify surplus service to the nation by President Buhari as a roadmap to reinventing the country. Presented letter of solidarity to Governor Aminu Bello Masari for onward delivery to the president, the leadership of the associations said Nigerians will continue to align with APC administration at state and federal levels. The chairman, National Union of Road Transport Workers Union, Kaduna State Branch, Alhaji Haruna Mohammed, said the union is satisfied with the measures taken by the Buhari administration to ensure security of motorists on highways. He said members of the union in Kaduna State will continue to pray and support President Muhammad Buhari. Also speaking, youth leader, Kaduna State Youth for Sustainable Change, Murtala Muhammad Kusada, noted with satisfaction steps taken by President Buhari to provide jobs to youth in the country.
We are supporting the government 100%. We are ready to contribute a lot.
Governor Amini Bello Masari thanked the organizations for identifying with the President Buhari. He described President Buhari as an epitome of discipline, decency, hard work, and tolerance. Governor Amini Bello Masari said the administration will continue to emulate leadership style of President Muhammadu Buhari by being just and fair. In Kaduna, Amini Shakabas, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has directed the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to immediately provide relief materials to victims of recent attacks in Lawaru and Dong communities in Adamawa State. He gave the directive during an on-the-spot assessment of the affected areas. Rayanu Bala tells us more.
The recent attack on communities of Lawaru and Dong in Demsa local government left not fewer than 45 people dead, with loss of property and valuables. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who visited Dong, one of the affected communities, described the incident as unfortunate. Yemi Osinbajo commiserated with the people of the area and directed NEMA to immediately provide food and shelter to cushion the immediate effect of the devastation. He promised government's commitment to seriously look into clashes with the view to provide lasting solution and called on people to always embrace peace.
We'll work on being able to restore some of these homes and some of the livelihoods back to the state that they were in before. That's very important, and we must do that. The most important thing of all is that there must be peace. We must ensure that there is peace. Because if there is no peace, children, women, livelihoods are lost. So let us all be determined to make sure that we settle all of these issues and there's peace in this community and there's peace all around.
Both Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrilla, Senator Muhammad Moalla Yidi of Adamawa South, and the Hamabata Homon Alhamdulillah Sonteneke say peace is paramount for development to take place. The Vice President also met with Lamido Adama Muhammadu Barkindo Aliu Mustafa and Hamabashama Homon Irmia Stephen, where he re-echoed the need for peaceful coexistence among the people.
This is the time to come together to make progress as a people. There's no reason why we should allow so much poverty, and all we're doing is fighting, killing each other. No reason. Our role should be to provide security, provide resources for people, so that everybody can enjoy their lives. That's the role that we must play.
In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
And away from that, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, has reiterated the administration's commitment to using policies and reforms that will boost the country's economy and improve the lives of the citizenry. He stated this while representing President Muhammadu Buhari at the 10th Annual Forum of Laureates of the Nigerian National Order of Merit in Abuja. Aliu Tukur reports.
Over the years, Nigeria has been facing governance and human security challenges, which is attributed to inability to use human and natural resources to meet the needs of citizens. Efforts have been put in place by both public and private sectors to overcome these challenges. One of such efforts is the annual Forum of Laureates, which create platform for all recipients of the Nigerian National Order of Merit. With this year's theme, Governance Reforms and Human Security in Nigeria, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation says the theme is significant and timely.
Gathering of this crop of eminent scholars has reinforced my belief that Nigeria has all the required intellectuals that can make this nation great.
It is my hope that the ideas generated from our discourse will assist to move our country forward.
The keynote speaker, Professor Tahiru Jega, said there is need for the leading intelligentsia to work together with politicians and public officials for a dispassionate governance reforms.
I believe that above all, one of the major challenges occasioned by a combination of poor leadership and bad governance is heightened insecurity rather than human security in Nigeria.
The communique from the forum is expected to outline recommendations that will help policymakers in Abuja. Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Well, fluctuations in the price of crude oil and the disturbances by youths in the Niger Delta region seems not be the only challenges facing Nigeria's revenue from oil. Ironically, the non-remittance into the Federation account by foreign oil companies poses even a more bigger challenge. Well, worried by this development, the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating revenue leakages in the oil sector has queried the management of Total and Ajib oil companies over sales of gas from 2 fields. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Facts have been emerging since the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on oil revenue leakages commenced investigation into the alleged failure by oil companies to pay royalties to the federal government. At this hearing, the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Representative Jaribe Agom, described as fraudulent the sales of gas from Abo field without remitting the money to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) by Total, while he requested that Ajib Oil Company should provide evidence of a dedicated account for gas sales from Bonga field.
We are fully committed to fulfill the obligation of royalty payments, so without any doubt.
Now you say there is some contention on the issue of the PSC as it concerns the gas sales and all of that. But there should be a dedicated account between 2005 to date. And we asked for details of that account.
The committee advised the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and other supervisory agencies to ensure that all unpaid royalties on oil and gas activities of companies are cleared. Meanwhile, Speaker Yakubu Dogara has received the Award of Leadership in Public Service Award of the year 2017 from New Telegraph Leadership. Leader of the House, Femi Batabia Miller, stood in for him during the award ceremony.
For recognizing that the House of Representatives has been effective, it is on account of the contribution of all of us.
The award is given to Nigerians whose service impacted positively on the life of Nigerians. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
A new national transport policy to drive the development of the transport sector is in the offing. This follows the presentation of the draft by the Finalization Committee. Victor Azu reports.
This convergence of experts in the transportation sector seeks to bring to an end a 31-year-old journey. Efforts to produce a new national transport policy began since 1986, but has been such a stop-and-start journey. This policy finally began to see the light with the setting up of this committee by the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, on October 19th, following the 15th National Council on Transportation, which took place in August 2017, where the approval of the draft was made a priority. Committee Chairman Mfon Usoro says the 8th chapter document emphasizes integration of the transport sector into other spheres of governance.
It is acknowledged that states in the Federation have differing transport needs and priorities, but the guiding principles in this document apply throughout the country. It is hoped that all transport-related government agencies in the federal, states, and local governments will adopt and reflect the broad principles in this document into each of their respective transport plans as appropriate.
Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi promised to expedite action.
We will pass it on to the Minister of State for Aviation to look at it and make his own contributions. I will also at the same time be studying to see what my views will be. At the end of that, we will take it to the Cabinet for approval.
The draft National Transport Policy stipulates a 10-year plan 2018 to 2028. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
And talking health now, wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, has reaffirmed her commitment to maintaining a strong collaboration with the governor's wives in an advocacy to improving the lives of women and children. Mrs. Buhari stated this in a message during the 3-day training workshop for the wives of governors on an advocacy for reproductive, maternal, newborn, child, and adolescent health in Mina, Niger State. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
In a renewed commitment for strengthening the advocacy initiative towards the promotion of lives of women and children, on the 9th of October this year, the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, and the wives of the governors formed a coalition with a view to championing the reproductive, maternal, newborn, child and adolescent health, as well as scaling up of nutrition in the country. The workshop in the north-central zone of the country was part of the fulfillment of the agreement, and it brought together wives of the governors of the north-central states, comprising the host Niger, Kogi, Nasarawa, Kwara, as well as the representative of the wife of the governor of Benue State, alongside other technical officers and key stakeholders. The major concern of the wife of the president, according to her representative Pauline Talon, is to put all hands on deck towards the reduction of maternal and infant mortality, as well as malnutrition in the country.
Except every one of us takes responsibility and strategic action to address these issues in our immediate regions, they may remain unchanged and even grow worse.
The governor's wives, alongside the development partners and other stakeholders, especially from the UNICEF, UNFPA and the MDAs, reaffirmed their commitment in supporting the program.
This seminar is aimed at, among other things, defining the priority areas for the governor's wives' advocacy and strengthening state-specific outline in support of the Future Assured program of the wife of the president.
A similar exercise took place in Kaduna last week for the Northwest Governor's wives. In Mina, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
In continuation of its mandate to empower Nigerians with special attention on widows of fallen heroes, Defense and Police Wives Association, DIPOA, has graduated 32 students in various vocations. Ronke Kolawole reports that the training program is the fourth in the series.
The graduating students were trained for 6 months at the DIPOA Skills Acquisition Center on catering and hotel management, computer studies, fashion designing, makeup, and tying of scarf, also known as gele. 14 of the students are widows of officers who lost their lives in service to the nation. Best graduating students were also honored. President DIPOA, Mrs. Omobolanle Olonishakin, reflected on the accomplishment of the Skills Acquisition Initiative and renewed the determination of the association to develop in humanity and assisting the less privileged to be self-sustained and create jobs.
Set of students gives us the assurance that we can empower Nigeria, thereby contributing to human and national development.
So happy that I'm one of the best students in gele and makeup tying. I pray DIPOA, God strengthen DIPOA, give them the money to continue like this, just as the way they helped widows.
The Chief of Defense Staff, who was represented, described skill acquisition as a necessary tool to cut down crime, urging the beneficiaries to make good use of the empowerment gesture.
We've acquired some skills. It should be a mirror of this institution or this center to the outsiders, wherever you are going to be.
Brigadier General Bello Soho, Director, Research, Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, delivered the graduation lecture titled Achieving Self-Reliance Through Personal Development. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is Nationwide. It's time for our first break now. To stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0805-502-9637, 0803-450-9726, 0909-9708-111. Horizon Caterers, experience catering beyond the horizon.
Slavery is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery. Don't believe fake promises of jobs abroad.
People went to say Libya, Italy. Italy no use you when they carry me on top water. 4 days now they lock me for inside house, no food, no water. I nearly die. Now God, when me heaven and earth, now save me. If you get 1 naira for Nigeria, you get junior one, you say you no get papa, you no get mama, that make you come out. I beg go they do farm work. You better pass person when enter road.
Don't accept to travel to Europe through the Sahara Desert. You may be walking into slavery. Don't be a slave.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
With the new StarTimes Classic Bouquet upgrade, there's something for everyone with our exciting new channels. Upgrade to Classic Bouquet and enjoy more thrilling blockbuster movies for adults and some for the whole family. Engrossing wildlife documentaries, cartoons for kids, nail-biting telenovelas for the ladies, the absolute hottest American TV shows on Fox, and all the breathtaking moments in football and other sports. But that's not all. With our StarTimes Christmas 50% offer, you can enjoy all this and much more on over 70 channels just for you this Christmas. Pay for 1 month and get 50% off the second month on any bouquet and enjoy the best Christmas with StarTimes. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Thank you for staying tuned. Nationwide continues now. A public hearing to amend the Nigerian Law Reform Commission Act of 2004 and bring it into conformity with its core mandate and global best practices has been held. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports that the hearing convened by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters also seeks to amend the Firearms Act of 2004.
The Nigerian Law Reform Commission is mandated to, among other things, compile and review all federal laws. By original design, the Commission's reports on legislations only get to the Presidency and the National Assembly via the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, David Umaru, believes that with the passage of this bill, this bottleneck will be addressed and the Commission will now be mandated to also forward copies of its reports directly to the National Assembly.
We are therefore completely in support of the amendment.
The purpose of amending the Firearms Act of 2004 is to provide stringent punishments for people who illegally import firearms into the country or are in possession of firearms without a valid license. It also makes comprehensive provisions for modalities and procedures for the destruction of confiscated illicit firearms.
I think we should equally look at the quantum of the weapon seized.
So long as you are in illegal possession of arms, there should be nothing like a fine at all. It should just be jail and nothing more.
The committee will compile its findings and recommendations and reports back to plenary. In another development, the planned commissioning of the Kaduna power plant in January may have to wait. This was the conclusion of the Senate Joint Committee on Power and Gas after an inspection tour of the facility. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Gas, Albert Bassi, also pointed out discrepancies in the agreement with contractors over the use of diesel and gas.
We at the Committee on Gas too, we are driving domestic gas.
Exactly.
So we believe that usage of gas will drive domestic gas utilization in the country and will also help create jobs for our people than importing diesel, importing LPF. It's really out of it.
Issues of funding, among others, will be addressed as part of recommendations to fast-track completion of the plant in order to make power supply in the country, especially in the northeast, more consistent. Dennis Adigunloye, NTA News.
Ademola is on standby in Lagos for stories making the rounds from the Center of Excellence. Ademola, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Ogwa. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Lagos. The long queues of vehicles that characterize petrol stations in Lagos in the last couple of days have lingered. Abolore Ogbara, who went to town to monitor the situation, reports that the queues were attributed to artificial scarcity, causing gridlock on the roads.
It was on Monday, 4th of December, that Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, assured Nigerians that there was no plan whatsoever to increase the price of petroleum products in the UTALD. The corporation had also assured Nigerians of adequate supply and distribution of petroleum products across the country. However, the situation at various stations visited shows that the queues are back in Lagos. It is a situation motorists dread to experience. The expression on the faces of these Nigerians says the much.
I had to queue to get this fuel. I queued from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Solid 3 hours wasted in order to get fuel.
We know the suffer we suffered yesterday before a masses who does not have a vehicle get vehicle to their destination. It's very, very unfair.
One issue that bothers most of the buyers is the mystery behind the queues and how long this trend would last. They are apprehensive as black marketers have taken positions along major spots.
I didn't, expect this in this time of month.
It's a terrible situation, and Christmas is coming, you understand? And those of us that are going to be traveling to the east, I don't know what's going to happen on the road, though.
It's not good for the season. Just ask government to help us do something about it. It's not easy queuing.
Management of the various stations declined comment on the issue. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
A book that provides practical understanding of African women's experiences, daily feminist issues, as well as correct myths and misconceptions, has been presented to the public in Lagos. The book, titled Loud Whispers, was written by a feminist activist and wife of the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Bisi Adeleye Fayemi. Joy Ken Abakboya has the details.
Rape is now a joke, something they look forward to, something they plan, something the girls expect, something the girls have learned to dread, so they wear spats to school.
That was an excerpt from the book, Loud Whispers, a compilation of sensitive and inspirational essays put together within the last 18 months. The 412-page book, made up of short stories, critically examines issues of gender inequality, feminist theory and activism, religion, as well as politics.
My focus is on policy advocacy at a national level, ensuring that we have policies and laws in place to protect the rights of women and girls. And I'm also very concerned about teaching, about sharing and communicating with the younger generation.
Loud Whispers also opened up issues on social justice, self-awareness, and relationships.
It's a book I recommend to everyone who is concerned about democratization, about human rights, about women's rights, about inequality in our society.
It's extremely attractive. I don't believe that anybody would start reading it and put it down.
very educative. There are a lot of things that were read that I was even shocked that were happening.
Every man, woman, girl and boy in Nigeria should have a copy of this book because it helps us, it gives us the tools to navigate the modern society.
Guests at the event recommend the book for everyone who seeks to shape a better and more equitable world. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
The need for parents, educational institutions and government at all levels to inculcate true values in the younger generation to uphold the identity of the nation has been stressed. This was the message sent by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, to the 2017 edition of Queen Moremi Ajashoro Beauty Pageant in Lagos. Elizabeth Omoruyi reports that His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi, graced the occasion.
The evening began with electrifying dance steps by the cultural group, signaling the bravery, resilience and struggle for survival of the celebrated Queen Moremi. It's the 2017 edition of the pageant where tradition meets contemporary fashion. The culture pageant is designed to promote the rich tradition of the Yorubas and by extension, groom women who can uphold true values of the Yoruba land.
It's a platform to actually build up our young women and also to create awareness of our diverse cultural heritage and also to let the youth know that we came somewhere and going somewhere. And this culture our culture must be preserved.
The Ooni of Ife, Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi, said the transference of culture is a collective responsibility of all.
I made that vow that I work towards blending tradition and modernity because that's who we are. Our heritage, our tradition is who we are. There is no way we can have a borrowed culture.
Iyimide Oluwatosin was crowned the winner of the pageant.
I put my mind in everything I want to do and I was determined. I was working towards being a winner. I was working like I was a winner.
Notable Nigerians who have made remarkable strides in their various fields of endeavor were also honored. In Lagos, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Well, that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Ogwa, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ademola. The Minister for Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said the federal government has not only met with all 12-point conditions raised in the Memorandum of Settlement reached with non-teaching staff of the federal universities on September 20th, 2017, but has also complied with timelines for implementation of agreement. The minister therefore asked the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, National Association of Academic Technologies, NAT, and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, operating under the acronym of the Joint Action Committee, to call off the ongoing indefinite strike and make a fresh case in respect of its reservation on the implementation of the point 1 of agreement concerning the disbursement of the 23 billion naira earned allowances. The minister, however, said nothing has been lost and urged the unions to make a fresh case for inclusion of the 2018 budget, adding that the federal government was willing to address the situation and urged the unions to immediately call off their strike. Now, moving on, with the advent of information technology across the globe, which could serve as a means of research for the purpose of easy and qualitative learning, also arises the issue of plagiarism, which has eaten deep into tertiary institutions, making proper research a thing of the past. Addressing this took center stage at a sensitization workshop organized by the National Commission for Colleges of Education for provosts, chairman, committee of deans and ICT directors on the need to curb plagiarism in colleges of education. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju has more.
Plagiarism, a Latin word flagellus meaning kidnapping, is the wrongful appropriation, stealing or publication of another author's language, thoughts, ideas, or expressions, and the representation of them as one's original work. This gathering, therefore, is on the need to curb plagiarism amongst Nigerian students and encourage them on the significance of research using technological appliances at their disposal.
It's quite serious because, you know, if you destroy originality, then we're not heading to anywhere.
The level of infrastructural development is not commensurate with the explosion of students we have. And that's all these issues have contributed to the problem. And then,
to me, any sanction against kidnappers should also be applied to those that are involved in plagiarism.
This is said will not only help the students academically, but also keep them up to date and improve the values of academic and development. Within academia, plagiarism by professors, researchers, or students is seen as academic dishonesty or academic fraud, which is subject to serious penalty, such as suspension or expulsion. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
15,000 IDPs benefit from education crisis response in Yobe. Let's join Naomi in our Maiduguri Network Center for this and more. Hello, Naomi.
Thank you, Vivian, and welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government is to recruit 500 youths in Biu local government area to enhance community watch as part of effort to curb security threat in the area. Governor Kashim Shettima stated this when he paid a sympathy visit to Biu town following last Saturday's suicide attack on Biu Market. Muhammad Goni reports that the governor was at the palace of the Emir of Biu, Omar Mustafa Aliyu, to commiserate with him and the bereaved families of the victims.
Governor Kashim Shettima said the recruitment of 100 youth in each of the 5 wards of the local government is to avert further attacks on the community, and it does not have any political undertone. Each youth to be engaged, according to the governor, will have to be screened by the Directorate of State Security and will be placed on monthly allowances, urging the youth to avail themselves for the exercise. Emir of Biu, Alhaji Mustafa Aliyu, thanked Governor Kashim Shettima for the sympathy visit and the continued support to the people in their trying moment. The governor then presented cash assistance to the bereaved families and the injured to the tune of 4.5 million naira, out of which 1 million naira is to reconstruct bond market stores due to the attack. It could be recalled that the governor had earlier visited some of the victims of the attacks receiving treatment at the Maiduguri Specialist Hospital, where he presented cash assistance to them. Member representing the affected community at the National Assembly, Betra Aliu, also sympathized with the people of Biu and charged the citizens, especially the civilian JTF, to be extra vigilant. Betra Aliu had earlier dispatched a team under the leadership of Bashir Ibrahim with cash gift of 50,000 naira each to the victims of the attack. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbe El-Kanemi, has debunked rumor making the rounds that vaccines against childhood killer diseases are harmful. The royal father stated this while flagging off the 2017 National Measles Vaccination Campaign at his palace in Maiduguri. Yagum Subakar completes the report.
This phase of the vaccination is targeting 95% coverage, where children from the ages of 9 months to 5 years are expected to be vaccinated across the state. The flag-off commenced with vaccinating some of the Shehu's children against the killer diseases, which is a clear indication that the vaccine is harmless. Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba El-Kanemi, while flagging off the campaign, urged all district and village heads to mobilize their subjects to be vaccinated.
People should note about the false rumor of vaccinating children on the head and stomach. This is completely false, fabricated, and aimed at frightening our people.
Borno State Governor, who was represented by the head of service, Yerima Saleh, described the campaign as timely, saying government is giving topmost priority to the health sector so that the citizenry get the basic health care needs. Commissioner of Health, Dr. Haruna Michelia, says Borno State has recorded the lowest number of measles cases in the year under review and urged the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency to maintain the status. Representatives of the WHO, UNICEF, and other speakers at the event urged caregivers to avail their words for the vaccination. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
More than 15,000 internally displaced persons' children, those of host community and physically challenged, are benefiting from support courtesy of the Education Crisis Response, having been enrolled in 200 non-formal learning centers across Yobe State. The program, taking place in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states, was affected by the Boko Haram insurgency, has so far mainstreamed 600 out-of-school IDPs children into formal education system in Yobe State. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports.
The educational support to internally displaced persons' children, host communities' children, vulnerable and physically challenged children came on the heels of Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast sub-region, which worsened school enrollment, leading to increase in out-of-school children with little hope to be educated. Concerned with the plight of affected communities, Education Crisis Response launched a 3-year program where thousands of out-of-school children were enrolled in non-formal education and later on mainstreamed into formal education system. With the support of Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, additional 600 children were provided with books, bags, and uniforms. Also, 7,000 households received assorted food items, with 125 adolescent girls and youth receiving employment materials after training in various trades to enhance their economic status.
The whole intervention will cover about 17 local governments across the 3 states, 7 Adamawa, 5 in Yobe, and 5 in Borno State.
The intervention, according to stakeholders, is aimed at expanding access to quality, protective, and relevant non-formal education and alternative education opportunities for internally displaced persons out-of-school children between the ages of 6 and 17 in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states. In Damaturu, I am Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
That does it from Maiduguri. Is back to Vivian in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Naomi. Artists from the northern part of the country have identified the absence of articulated strategies to fund the sustenance of the visual arts practice in Africa as one factor militating against the development of the industry. This was at the 2017 Northwest Zonal Art Fair organized by the National Gallery of Art. Oyinaya Kalu Oka reports.
About 50 artists from the 7 states of Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kebbi, Katsina, Kano, and Jigawa participated in the art fair with the theme Hunturu. The Hamatan Dialogue is an attempt by the National Gallery of Art to draw people's attention to the season. Beautiful and colorful artworks with deep messages were displayed. The fair offered art critics, collectors, curators, art administrators, and enthusiasts from the zone avenue to exchange ideas on ways of harnessing hidden talents, supporting upcoming artists, and promoting artworks from the zone to international level.
I'm so much impressed because it's harmonizing artists.
Director General, National Gallery of Art, Abdullahi Muku, said the Zonal Art Fair is one of the programs of the National Gallery of Art to create platform for artists to make their presence known, sell their works, and forge links with the art industry's major players.
We are convinced that with the right kind of partnership and synergy, we shall put our tourism on such a pedestal that the shine will reach far and wide.
There is a rich cultural heritage waiting to fertilize our development initiatives.
The art fair, being the 4th in the series, is unique, with creative works projecting the rich cultural heritage in the northern parts of the country. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Well, another break beckons. More reports after. Don't go away.
Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption presents CYIAC Corruption Busters, an initiative to promote culture of integrity in children, youth, and adults towards achieving global goals in 2030. Join us for the launch and movie premiere of CYIAC Corruption Busters to mark United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day. Date 9 December 2017. Time 3 p.m. Venue, Filmhouse IMAX Cinema, Bisola Durosimi Eti Drive, Lekki Phase 1, Lekki. Visit www.cyiac.com for details. Download CYIAC app to join our conversation and watch live stream of the event. Let's join hands together to make our nation great again. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alaji.
Alaji?
I am just rehearsing, dear.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, and win cash prizes. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply.
Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Men say they cannot be under women who make more money than them.
God forbid.
No, my husband cannot be lazy and spending my money.
I put food on the table for you to open your large mouth and eat.
My husband should not be intimidated by my success.
You're still the head of the family, irrespective of your financial status.
Says another group of women.
You feel marry woman, we will pass you.
And the debate and opinions go on and on. Your rib-cracking comedy, Professor John Bull, takes a very comic and educative look at this episode titled Breadwinner and laugh like never before.
My love for you has no limits.
No mind watching this man they talk. 90% of what man they tell woman when they toast up. Nah lie. I think I don't buy a cable.
Boss, what I do you now? Eh?
No Francais.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network. Glow. Unlimited.
Radio Nigeria, NTA and Voice of Nigeria set for another time of refreshing carol
at the National Christian Center, Abuja, on the 10th of December 2017 for our season of praise.
Theme: Jesus, our strength and peace.
Featuring the host choirs.
Other choral groups include the Can Choir, Foursquare Gospel Church Choir, and Special Women Church Choir.
Christmas message will be delivered by Reverend Felix Modoe, General Overseer, Foursquare Gospel Church.
The event will be graced by notable Nigerians, including His Excellency Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN. Red carpet starts 1 p.m. prompt.
The event selected for 3 p.m. prompt will be broadcast live. Free transport will be provided to and fro strategic locations. Keep a date with Radio Nigeria, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria on the 10th of December 2017.
Certainly, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back. Fire raises Awolowo markets in Shagamu, Ogun State. Let's join Kemi in our Ibadan Network Center for details of this and more from that axis.
Thank you, Ogwa. Good afternoon and welcome to Ibadan. Understanding the roles of polytechnic education in vocational training will assist in driving the nation's economy to an enviable status through entrepreneurial skills. This formed part of submissions of experts at an inaugural lecture held at the Federal Polytechnic Ilaru, Ogun State. Correspondent Oyeyinka Falaromi has the details.
Following the increasing rate of youth unemployment, crimes, and other vices, the inaugural lecture by Professor Sabitu Olagoke dwelt on harnessing opportunities offered by polytechnic education in vocational training to develop entrepreneurial skills in youth to end poverty and grow the economy. Professor Olagoke maintained that the structure of polytechnic favor entrepreneurship and urged those in polytechnic setting to put more effort in developing simple technology that will aid vocational skill.
Now that we are having
digitalization, we are having ICT-driven education. So government must really adequately invest in education regarding the curriculum that is supposed to be changing almost every five years.
Rector, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Olusegun Aluko, charged the youth to refocus and key into various programs provided for them by the federal government.
As look at how the institutions started and where we are today, I'm very glad that they have become part of those that is making history.
The inaugural lecture, titled The Honeybees of Sustainable Development Concept, Technical Vocation Education and Training, Sustainable Development Goals, Linkage for Nigeria, was the second in the series. In Ibadan, Oyeyinka Folaranmi, NTA News.
Worth several millions of naira have been destroyed in a late-night inferno which razed a section of Awolowo Market in Makun, Shagamu, Ogun State. Correspondent Yemi Dalimo reports that the cause of the inferno is yet to be ascertained.
The incident, according to the trader, occurred late in the evening when the market had been closed for the day's activities. According to them, residents of the area who noticed an unusual heavy smoke coming from a section of the market raised the alarm, which drew the attention of the Ogun State Fire Service, the police, the Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, and some youths who worked till around 11 in the night before they could prevent the fire from spreading to other stores.
When I came this morning, I find out this thing, I see all this thing. None of anything come out, nothing come out. And I just went to market to Newly.
I can't believe this is a shop again. I was emotionally lost. This is a great loss.
The incident was very unfortunate. This is the third time or fourth time that such incident is going to happen now.
Cause of the inferno, which raised over 40 shops, is yet to be ascertained, while the traders are still counting their losses. Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
Pensioners who retired from Osun State Civil Service has taken the agitation for payment of their outstanding gratuities to the streets of Osogbo. Correspondent Olabode Arewa reports.
The pensioners who retired between 2008 and 2012 had been on a relentless campaign to pressurize the Ralph Aregbesola administration to pay their outstanding pensions and gratuities. According to them, non-payment of gratuities by the state government had made life particularly difficult for the pensioners. Once again, they exhibited their displeasure over government's non-payment of 14 months half pension arrears by taking to the streets of Osogbo, brandishing placards with different inscriptions.
He has put total stoppage to the payment of gratuities in September 2013, up to date.
Spokespersons for the pensioners, Omoni Ilesomi and Shola Olojede, denied insinuations of being influenced by outside forces or political considerations.
Our people are bedridden because they could not buy drugs for their various ailments.
At our age, we are a senior citizen of Osun State. Nobody can use us.
As at the time of filing these reports, officials of the state government were yet to respond to the allegations made by the pensioners. The pensioners have held several street protests to call attention to their plight, while calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to step into the matter. In Osogbo, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to you, Ogwa.
Thank you, Kemi. The U.S. military has flown a BITS member over South Korea as part of a massive joint aerial drill, in a move seen as a warning to North Korea. For this and other stories on the foreign scene, let's join Adamu also.
Thank you and welcome to this segment of the news. A 709-carat diamond found in Sierra Leone has been sold for more than $6.5 million at an auction in New York City, hosted by Rappaport, a diamond trade and auction house. The buyer was Lawrence Graft, one of the world's top precious stones buyers and founder of the Graft Diamonds. The piece diamond was found by villagers, and instead of selling the diamonds on the black market or smuggling it out of the country, the villagers decided to turn it out to the government. The government then put it up for public auction and said the majority of the proceeds would go to social services in villages ravaged by war. The U.S. military has flown a B-1B bomber over South Korea as part of a massive joint aerial drill, a move seen as a warning to the North. The drill is taking place a week after Pyongyang fired what it claimed was a new intercontinental ballistic missile which could hit U.S. mainland. South Korea's military said the U.S. bomber took part in a simulation with U.S. and South Korea fighter jets. To the Middle East now, where Houthi rebels in Yemen have held dozens of journalists captive for days at a television station in the capital. According to the Reporters Without Borders, who are demanding the immediate release of the journalists, the rebels launched rocket-propelled grenades at the headquarters of the Yemen Al Yaum TV channel in Sana'a on Saturday before storming the station and holding hostage 41 employees inside. The assault and hostage-taking comes amid heightened tension after forces loyal to the former president, Ali Abdullah Saleh, severed Houthis' relation, sparking days of guns battles and artillery fire in the capital. And that is it from this end. The news continues.
And for a bit of sports, since the beginning of organized sporting competitions in the Greek city-states in the 8th century BC, athletes have been devising means of becoming champions. While some of the athletes win with integrity, others do not. Correspondent Amanzi Marcos reports on the desperation of some athletes who take shortcuts to getting victory at all costs.